Hey, beautiful people. Good evening, over the farm. Welcome back to our live stream. Hey, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everyone doing tonight? I throw saludo. Good evening and welcome back. Good afternoon if you are joining us from the US. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you are well. I hope you are good. Season's greetings. Today is the 8th day of December 2022. I'm a bit early today because I want to just quickly do this and finish on time. So I think I was like 10 minutes early. So hopefully people will be able to join us. If you are watching this on playback, we salute you, we welcome you, and we greet you special. Season's greetings to all of you. Welcome, welcome. So tonight we are going to talk about this couple, right? I did mention it briefly in my last show that we're going to talk about this Kenya woman. Her name is I think I like her. I usually like African names. She has a Kenyan name and she has an English name. Her Kenyan name is Njoki. Njoki, and I happen to know an Njoki, that Auntie Njoki. When I went to Mombasa, when I went to Kenya, that lady that I did a video with, I'm actually supposed to hang out with her because she's in the UK at the moment, but it's not worked. We've tried to meet, and I'm still hoping that we'll be able to hang out with her. She's an amazing lady. Yeah, welcome, welcome everybody. Season's greetings over the farm. Thank you so much for making it a date with us. Please like it as you're coming in. Yes, so this is the story about an American dream. Her English name is Mary, and her Kenyan name is Njoki. Yeah, you guys remember Auntie Njoki? Lovely lady. Yeah. Auntie Njoki, if you are watching this, how are you? I hope you are well. Season's greetings to you. When I saw this, the name just clicked. I was like, oh, Njoki. Yeah. This is a story that is a shocking story. Mm. Like, it's the story of people. I'm not sure where the husband is from. I was still trying to investigate to see if he's also Kenyan like her, but I'm not sure. Does anybody know where Mary's husband comes from, Njoki? Because his surname is Muchemi, so I think they are both Kenyan, but I'm not sure. Is he Kenyan as well, or is just she's the only one that's Kenyan amongst them? Because his first name is Gary Staten, so I don't know if he's Kenyan or he's an American person. So a brief rundown of the story. Give us a thumbs up as you're coming in. Good evening. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Are people enjoying Gistmas? I don't think people are enjoying Gistmas. Should we stop? Should we stop? They said the man's name is Gary Staten. So is Staten a Kenyan name? Her own name is Muchemi. So that's her name. Njoku Muchemi. But his name, the man's name is Gary Staten. So I don't know if that is a Kenyan name. I'm asking because I don't know where he comes from. Anyway, the story is that Opinionator Jan, he's not Kenyan. He looks American. I suspected that he might be American because of the name. Gary Staten sounds like an American name. It sounds like a proper American name. People are enjoying Gistmas because the views are very low. So I'm thinking people are not enjoying it, so I can stop, so I can rest. Honestly, people are not watching Gistmas, so my people, Should we stop today? Today or tomorrow? Should we stop there and not do Gistmas anymore? Hmm? I shouldn't stop. Because the engagement has been quite low, so I'm wondering maybe people are not really, really interested. So that me too I can rest, to be honest. I need rest. Anyway, thank you for those who've been watching, those who are enjoying them, those who are sharing them. Don't just watch alone. Please share them and get people to watch and subscribe. Film girl, you're enjoying Gistmas. Okay. I'm asking though because I'm thinking maybe I should stop. Because there's no point doing them if people are not interested. All right. Yet you say, please don't stop. No. Okay, if you say so. Thank you, film girl. I can see that you're a member. God bless you. May the Lord bless your pockets. Okay. Oh, thank you, Ijoma. I'm watching and I make sure 3 of my children like and share the videos too. God bless you. Thank you so much, Ijoma. So this story today, now another one of those stories that is quite is incredible. Very, very shocking story. And the part of it, Gary Staten is an American from Kentucky. Ella. Oh, okay. That's what I thought, that this man looks like he's an American. I don't think he's an African because of the name. That's why I suspected that he might not be, he might be African American. Not that it matters. Just sometimes I always want to know where people come from. So this is their wedding picture. Let me show you their wedding picture. Mary migrated from Kenya to the US. Like we all migrate because we are looking for greener pastures. All right, Lucas, you say I shouldn't stop. You are enjoying them. Are you sharing? That's what I want to know. Tell me if you are sharing. Are you sharing the gist mass? It's like people are not sharing. They are not people. The views are very, very low. You do know that it's every day that I'm dropping a video now, and I tell you, it's not moi. There's a lot of work, so that's why I'm asking. Anyway, thanks to everybody that has been watching. I appreciate you guys so much. I value you guys. I cherish you guys. I appreciate you guys. You're sharing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, this one, in fact, one of my subscribers was one that sent it to me by email and said, Auntie B, have you seen this? The minute it happened, she sent it to me over the weekend, I think. Can't remember the day now. Thank you so much to people that are always pointing me to all these stories because I can't be online all the time, So I appreciate everybody that is always bringing one story or the other to my attention. So it's a story of someone that is in search of the American dream. But unfortunately, this American dream has not ended well for Mary Njoki. It hasn't ended well. I don't know what happened. And that is the most, the most, I don't even know how to describe the how it makes, because when things like this happen, people are always looking for closure. They're always looking for, they have a lot of, you know, they have a lot of questions that they need answers to. When there is no answer, mm, when there is no answer, then is very, 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 very depressing. You sharing, Angela, you say I shared the one about who is looking after the wives. That's the only one that interested you. The other ones you didn't share. Okay, oh, thank you for sharing that one. That's a start. Mm, okay. Some people were saying we should do a live show about who is looking after the woman. I realized that nobody's looking after the woman, the women. Yeah. Women look after so many people, but nobody looks after the woman. It's true. Yeah, the strength that women have is incredible. It's incredible. You look after everybody. You look after the wife, the husband. You look after the children. If you don't have a husband, you look after your family, your extended family, and it goes to, into even what we are saying tonight about Mary, about this lady Njoki. She was a wife. She was a mother, she was an entrepreneur, and she was a registered nurse. I understand that she recently qualified as a nurse in the US. Hardworking lady, beautiful lady. And the thing that the family are most and the people that know her, that love her most perplexed about is there are so many unanswered questions. Yes, opinionated Jen, you are right. So this is what happened. Let me just give you a brief background of what happened for those who have not seen the story before. So this is Mary. She's an immigrant to the US. She went from Kenya to the US. And it was only 3 days ago. They said she's happily married to this guy called Gary Starton. The family said there is no sign that anything was wrong. They seem like a happy traditional family. All the reports, all the reports that I've seen, because I've been checking, I'm watching videos from US websites, US uh, news information on the ones that share news on YouTube, news channels. Everybody is saying that they seem like a traditional family. No problem at all. Even the sister and the mother were interviewed. They said there was no indication that anything was amiss in this marriage. Like they were happy. They were happy. I even watched one of the recorded news today where the brother in Kenya was interviewed and he said they were doing well. They were doing very well. Mary is very, very hardworking. She recently became a registered nurse, as you call them in the US, RN. You know, they have a business. She started a daycare business. She's worked in several care homes. What we call care home here is what you guys called facilities, elderly facilities in the US. There was no sign of any trouble in the marriage. As a matter of fact, they said that they recently returned. Mary recently celebrated her birthday, and her father passed. That she and her husband went, and her sister went to Kenya for the funeral. After the funeral, she came back to the US. No sign of anything. Hmm. That's what I'm hearing. No, that she recently qualified as a nurse. That's what I heard. Right? She recently celebrated her birthday. They said there was nothing to indicate that, you know, nothing to indicate that there was any trouble in paradise. Angela, thank you. Angela said, we appreciate your efforts, Auntie B. We understand that Gistmas time is a slower, shorter episode time because it's busy time for the year, so don't feel underappreciated. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, what could have been the problem that will make this man to just wake up one day if there's no problem? They are doing well. They are living the American dream and working towards their goals to, financially to improve themselves. Mary has recently started a business. She's a qualified nurse. You know, children are doing well. They spoke to the teachers in the school. All the interviews, they said the children, one is 17 years old, the one that is called Brianna, and one is called Adriana. Adriana is 17 years old. You know, looking forward to graduating from high school. She wanted to be a lawyer. And then let me show you another picture. And then the younger one is 11, called Brianna. Everything you hear on the news about them is just positive, positive, positive. What could have been the problem? Because this is a question that people that love her, her family, friends, her colleagues are asking, what could have been the problem? Two beautiful children living the American dream. Your daughter is about to graduate from high school, you know. I also saw a video where, it said that the 17-year-old was walking into creating awareness about, voters' rights, how people should be more engaging in votes. She was very, very active. What could have been the problem? Wow. So they said that Gary just woke up one day and decided that, okay, today is the day. Onilera Yegbe. One day he just woke up, just a few days ago, and decided today is the day and ended it all. He started with his wife, Mary Njoki, deleted his wife and then the children. After he finished deleting the children, he faced himself and deleted himself. My goodness. A whole family. Just like that. Just like that. So, what could have been the problem? Because I'm wondering if they were that happy, then how could this happen? If they were that happy, how did it happen if they were that happy? Why would Gary wake up one day if everything was all right and decided that, okay, I'm tired now, I can't do this anymore? I mean, if it's the marriage that is the thing that he was unhappy with, if he didn't want the marriage anymore, he could have just packed his bag and, he will leave or he will walk out on the marriage or whatever. But for him to decide to go to this level of unlifing everybody in his family, his immediate family, why would he do that? What happened? I don't know what happened, but there's something that definitely was going on there. So this evening, I was still checking to see if there's any information out there what happened. Because a lot of people were saying that even if it's mental health, because sometimes when these things happen, we talk about mental health, we talk about, you know, other issues that the person might be dealing with. But the family said there was no sign. There was nothing to indicate that there was any problem. They seem happy together. The sister said they speak on a daily basis. They even interviewed the mother. The mother said that she's a family person. Like this lady is a proper family person. The sister was, giving an interview. She said they speak on a daily basis. And the kind of person that she is, she's very open that if she was going through something, there's no way that she would not have mentioned it to her family member. So what happened? Then I saw something this evening as I was researching it again. On Mary's birthday, which was just a few days ago, Gary wrote something on Facebook. He put something on Facebook, right? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Or is this thing frozen? I don't know why. Okay, it's working now. I was trying to change the picture to put what he put on Facebook. This is what he put on Facebook. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong place, am I? I don't know why it's not showing. He just wrote something on Facebook. Happy birthday, my wife, the love of my life. That's what he wrote on Facebook. That was on her birthday. Okay, it's showing now. You decided to show in your own sweet time, Abby. Maybe I was pressing you. You didn't want to show. This is what he wrote. Can you see? Gary Starton. Happy birthday to my wife, the love of my life. So that doesn't seem like something that will be posted by someone who maybe if they were having some marital issues. Okay. So I saw that, and then that where I was the YouTube channel I was watching also said that this was something that he posted on the 22nd of November. Can you see this? I think this gave me a little bit clue about just a little bit of what may have been going on. So on the 22nd of November, Gary wrote, the therapist tell me I can walk through it. The medication is not working. I hate the way I feel inside. Mental health is grabbing a strong hold on me. I hate what I am feeling. Hey. So they were saying that they are not sure if Mary saw this. Did she see this? Because if your partner posts something like this, your husband or somebody that you know posts something like this, you quickly reach out to them, say to check what's going on. Is it that she was not aware that he was dealing with mental health? Was he hiding it? Hmm? Can somebody be dealing with mental health and they will totally hide it from even the person that they live with? I'm wondering because he's saying that he's on medication and she is a nurse. So definitely she would have seen medication in the house, right? If he's taking medication, she should know, what medication he's taking and what the medication is for. Is it possible to have mental health to the point that you are taking medication to suppress whatever, your um psychiatric has prescribed for you to suppress whatever you are feeling, and she will not know? Because where I got this from, and it's only one place I've seen it, and I've checked. Trust me, I did check online. Everybody is saying they don't know. Even the family, they are saying they don't know that they appeared happy. There was nothing wrong. But he posted this on the 22nd. You pay attention to what people are saying on social media. Oh. It's very, very important that we pay attention. Hmm. He said the therapist tell me I can walk through it. The medication is not working. So that means he's seen a therapist. Does his wife know that he's seen a therapist? Well, all the time I talk about, hiding illnesses, you know, when I talk about it here, I say the way we as a people, the way we hide our diagnosis is not healthy. It's not healthy. Honestly, because if people that you live with don't even know that you are suffering from something, how can they help you? How can they support you? I mean, we cannot just blame everything on stigma, 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 and say it's because of stigma. I'm talking about your wife, your partner that you live in the same house with. Even if anybody is going to stigmatize you, we are talking about your immediate family. Are you going to say because of stigma you will hide something so serious from your own wife that you claim to love? Don't forget that a few days ago he wrote it on Facebook that he was saying happy birthday to my wife, the love of my life. So, how can she not know that this man may have been dealing with some serious mental health issues that led to this serious catastrophe that happened now? Four people unlived. Four. Four people. Four human beings. He wiped them out. And he did write on social media that he doesn't like the way he's feeling. He said, I hate the way I feel inside. Mental health is grabbing a hold of me. I hate what I'm feeling. So what was he feeling? Hey, Ọlọ́run jọ̀ọ́ o. What was he feeling? Because whatever it is that he was feeling, if he was hallucinating or hearing voices telling him to do negative things, whatever it is, that is definitely what he acted on. Eh? Lady Anon, I'm looking at your comment. You're saying that psychopathy or psychopathy or sociopathic tendencies. Please look into this. People with depression, anxiety, and bipolar normally don't commit this kind of crimes. Yeah, that's what a psychiatrist was saying. That even if it's mental health, right? That somebody that is suffering from mental health, sometimes even if they want to do something like this, they are most likely to do it to themselves, not to other people, not to members of their family or other people. But the big question tonight that I want us to explore, and I'm sharing my link immediately because I'm not going to be here long because it's Gistmas. Yeah, so if you've got something to say, what can we do to encourage people to be more open about their health, especially to their immediate family, so they can get the support that they need? Because if you say, if something they pain you, you know, great talk say they pain you, it will continue to they pain you. Only you go they suffer. Maybe people when they day your life, they will not be sensitive to that thing because they don't even know. They don't even know that you are dealing with that. Should people be so secretive to the point that, okay, I know there's stigma around mental health in our community and all that, yeah. Yes, there's stigma, but is it to the point now where husband and wife will be hiding something is wrong with you? You'll be hiding it from your partner. You hide it to the point that you did this. Wow. Opinionated Jen say we should remove stigma. Yes. How do we do that? I'd like to hear your thoughts. The link is in the comment section. You've got something to say. I am going to spend only a few minutes taking calls and then we'll call it a day. How can we help people to get help? How can we help people to speak? Even if you don't, we're not saying go to social media and broadcast it, but obviously he did say something on social media. That was a Facebook post. So how come she doesn't know? Was she too busy that she didn't see that he was suffering, or did he hide it so well? Was he hiding his medication in the car? How come the wife does not know that this man was suffering to the point that he got to this level that he decided, "Wait, today, the whole of my family, I don't want you people in this earth anymore." And he just unlived every one of them, including the children. And don't tell me that even if they have problem in the marriage, which everybody that knows them says they don't have any problem. The children, men usually love their daughters. The worst Mongo Park that you know of, they will love their daughters. Men don't play with their daughters. Why did he hide it to the point that he had to go and do this? Anita said, yes, Auntie B, it's possible. Some people hide their diagnosis very well. Not even their spouses will know. And because of confidentiality, healthcare professionals are not allowed to disclose. Wow. 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 What is the learning from this then? If people can hide to this point, what is the learning? Let's focus on the learning, because I mean, at the end of the day, we want, no matter how, Jesus, I don't even know what to say. Because if you are hiding to the point that you know, because this thing is mental health we're talking about, right? You are saying it's like as a therapist. You are taking medication, you are saying it's not working, but you are still hiding. And you are saying you are not coping. He was using his mouth to say, he said, medication is not working. I don't like the way I'm feeling inside. And I'm sure she didn't see it. I'm very, very sure. Yeah, I'm sure Mary didn't see this. She didn't see it. Because some people are not, they don't even use social media that often, especially people who have very busy lives like that. When was the last time you checked your Instagram, your Facebook? You know, maybe she's not even on Facebook. How can we help people to be more open to discuss things so that we can avoid things like this in the future? That's the discussion I want to have tonight. Honey babe, welcome. You're my first caller. How are you?
Hello, Auntie B. I don't know if you remember me from the conversation we had regarding children, and you remember
Yes,
where I was talking about
I
ADHD.
do. You're in the
Yeah.
UK. Yes, I remember you. Welcome, my darling.
Hello, Auntie B. I saw this and it's a shock, but the problem is for me is information. You know, when COVID happened, there was information, there was constant media attention. And I think we need to have conversations, workshops to discuss about mental health. There was a time over COVID, I wanted to actually be a nurse, and I got into university and I got into working as a support worker. And I worked in a mental health unit. And what I found was that mostly a lot of Nigerians, there is the stigma. There is the assumption that I have to keep it to myself. I have a cousin of mine and she's been hiding it from her husband for the past 2 or 3 years, and she's bipolar. You understand? And I
She's hiding
think
it from her husband.
for us, she's hiding it from her husband, yeah,
Does she
because
not
of
have
the
any
stigma.
symptoms?
You
The
know how it
husband
is in
didn't
our
pick up on
culture.
it.
No, he hasn't. You know, I'm sorry to say, Nigerians, we're not really perceptive and notice stuff. We'll brush it off. You understand what I'm saying? They will brush it off. So even when he has questioned it, she's been able to say, "Oh, I'm not feeling myself," and it's very easy to kind of like dismiss it, because
Right.
even if he now decided to find out, he could easily. Does he really want? Will he accept the fact that his wife is bipolar? Is another question. Even if she now decided to tell him, there's that
Or does
question
he
as
even
well.
understand what, I mean, for you to even accept, you need to even understand what it is in the first place.
Exactly.
So it goes back to what you were saying about
You remember
education.
when I
You need
told you
to
that my son
know.
had? Yes, and yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You remember when I said to you, when I found out my son had ADHD, I asked information. There's information out there. And the problem in our community, we're not willing to research. Because, like I said, mental health is not just exclusive to the Nigerian African community. It's out there in terms of the white community, Chinese. But I think that white people are very easy to be able to get access because they don't believe it's a stigma. It's part of life. It's a condition, like having a
Right.
cold or having, another medical condition. And I think it's easy for them to access the facilities in able to get therapy or medication. You understand what I mean? So until we
Yes.
break down the wall in terms of information, I think it's a lot of, the same way that we have kind of like sickle cell. There's a lot of information in our community regarding that. It has to be that type of workshop information going out to our community in
Yeah.
in order for people to realize that having a mental health condition is not a stigma.
Right.
It's not. And I
And
feel until it's
may
not
I
just workshops,
suggest
I think
that,
it's even sorry,
yeah,
I'll let you speak.
yeah, let me just say something. I mean,
Sorry,
to
I'll let you
interject
speak.
there.
Yes,
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
yes.
People need to speak. Those who have
Sorry,
diagnosis.
yes.
Let me tell you something. When
Yes.
one
Why?
person speak,
Yes, yes,
when
yes, yes.
when you speak, that's why I keep encouraging
Yes.
people share.
Mm.
Share. People think when I'm telling people to share is because
Yes, Auntie
I'm
B.
trying to
Yes, Auntie
I'm
B.
trying to do this. I'm trying. No, no, no. You don't know the power of sharing your
No, Auntie
story.
B. Yeah.
When you
Yes,
share your
Auntie B.
story, what
You're
it
right.
does to
That's
the
the
next
reason why.
person,
Yes. Mm.
the next person that
It
has that, when
encourages
they
them
are
to
listening to
speak.
it, this is me, oh, me too, I can share. You
Yes.
encourage
Yes,
other people
Auntie
to
B.
share. And by the time we continue to share, everybody
Yes.
is
Auntie
sharing.
B.
That's how
Auntie B.
you get rid
Mm.
of that stigma.
Yes. That is very true. That is very true. Because, like I said, from the previous conversation we had, I'm not afraid to say my son has special needs ADHD, and I think that has encouraged more people to say, honey babe, can you help me to research? Honey babe, where can I go to? How do I get an education healthcare plan? And we talk, we gist, and more people are getting that information. Do you understand? In my little circle of friends. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're very right. It starts with one person having the courage to say, you know what, I'm being diagnosed as bipolar. I'm not saying
Yeah,
I am, but for someone to say that, that starts the conversation. And someone else says, I've been diagnosed with depression. Then one, two, three, it continues. It's a rollover effect. More people will now talk, and the stigma slowly but surely goes. I do believe that talking about it, having this type of programs on, talking about it, it will stop the stigma. Because if we don't vocalize and make people understand that mental health it's not a stigma, things like this will continue.
absolutely. Thank you so much, honey babe. I appreciate you. You are right. You are so right. Just
Thank you, Auntie B.
today, thank you, my darling. Just today, I was speaking to someone, Oyibo person, and she was like, "Oh, I'm suffering from Oyibo people are so open about their mental health. I've never seen." Before I can say anything, she's like, I'm dealing with my mental health. I've got depression. They talk about it like is normal, like it's part of when you. It's just like having headache, and I think that's part of the reason why there's so much stigma. There's still a bit of stigma in their own, culture, but it's not as much as Black community. People are so ashamed because they don't want to be labeled. They don't want to be stigmatized. They don't want people to use it to abuse them. But look at the impact of keeping things secret. Look what is done now. Just look at this. So if you are somebody who is suffering from any kind of mental health, please, I'm encouraging you today because of the life of these people that you are seeing now. Four beautiful, four. Look at the children. I hope you will have, the courage to be able to reach out, to speak openly. Become an advocate, become a champion. Speak about it. Speak about it. It is your story. Own it. Everybody has their own. They are hiding it. Everybody has a story because you can help people, especially if you survived it or you are managing it as you are, getting on. You are living with it and you are still carrying on living because one of the reasons some of our people think that once you have mental health, You can't work, you can't function, you can't have a family, you can't engage in society anymore. But if we see people who are bold to come forward and say, you know what, I've lived with mental health for so number of years, I'm married or I'm working, I have children, and with the help of so and so, this is what has helped me. Oh, it will be like it will be like ice water on a very hot summer day. People will lick it up and they will be so happy. It will also encourage them to speak. That's why we have support groups. Because when people feel confident to speak, when other people share, and when they feel that they are not going to be judged. That's why when people come here to share their stories, we say it's not we're not judging anybody here. Just let them talk. Oh, you didn't hear from this side, the men did it. They are coming here to talk about their own. Do you know what they are saying? We are not. This is not a court. We are not here. It's not a therapy season. It's not a therapy session. We just want someone. Sometimes they just want to unburden their hearts. They just want to say what is troubling them. Allow them to speak. We support them as individuals. Sometimes that's what people need. Michelle, are you there? I can hear some talking in the background. Are you at work?
No, hello, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you hear me,
Hello,
ma'am?
hello. Yes, my dear. Where
Yeah.
are you joining us from?
First time caller. Yay, excited. And to be a two
Hey.
excited. Thank you so much. Um, just want to encourage you. Your show has been, trust me, with what my situation. I'm calling from Montreal, Canada. So I want to just encourage you and say thank you. Your show has been has been helping me through my situation where I am right now. So thank you so much.
You're
But
welcome.
I wanna come at this from another angle, and I know we have a lot of woke people on this channel, and I know some people I might take a beat for it, but I was gonna look at it from a spiritual angle, and to be, as people, right? Whatever religion you believe in. I know we have Muslims here, Christians here, we have atheists here. You know, I believe that in a way, my father used to say, God will speak to you with signs. God speaks to everyone. And my dad was not the most religious person that I knew growing up. I think with this situation of this man and how he deleted his whole family, could we say that in the in in the beginning of this relationship she probably saw the signs? Probably God spoke to her, and I know we don't we religion has taken a back burner in our lives now because we are so
Hmm.
woke. We don't want to spiritualize everything, but we forget that we are spirit beings in human flesh.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that um we should not we should undermine the goodness of science, but at the same time, what about our spirituality? Sometimes do we get signs from God when God is speaking? That, oh, maybe, maybe did God show her something that, in the advent of the future with this man, this is what might happen to you. So I just want us to just look at it also from a spiritual angle, and going forward in our lives, that we should not ignore signs. I know for me, I always say that, that God speaks to me through signs. And I think in any way, God speaks to us, everybody individually. Let's also ignore the signs of, when we see something and we just think, oh, it's nothing. Like
Do you
somebody,
know why I'm very careful, Michelle? Whenever I talk
yeah,
about mental health, you notice that I don't always want to go spiritual. Do you know why?
why?
Because our people already, eh? Our people already will not engage with treatment because of faith.
Yeah,
So when they are presenting with symptoms, they will say, "Ah, I reject it, I forbid it." Oh, no, no, no. They start quoting the Bible, and that's all right. It's okay for you to exercise your faith.
yes,
But the
ma'am.
problem is that in exercising your faith, our people, erroneously will not seek active medical help because they
Yeah.
will even not agree, or they will reject any kind of diagnosis that they are given. They will say, no, 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 it's not my generation, God forbid, you know. So that's
Yeah.
why when we talk about mental health, I try not to go spiritual because
Yeah, I do agree with you, and to be completely, in the sense that we should not undermine science and what science has done, and how far science has taken us, in life, with especially with mental health. And again, like someone the last caller said, COVID really exposed a lot of things. because a
Yeah.
lot of people didn't know they had mental health issues until COVID. A lot of
I
people lost
believe
their
that we all suffered from one form of mental health or the
yeah,
other
a lot of
after
people
COVID.
lost yes, a lot of people lost their
Yeah.
minds because they didn't know the future, what was going to happen, will half the population of the earth be wiped out. But I'm also saying, Auntie B, that we should not also undermine spirituality in things like
So,
this.
with
Yes.
respect
So
to, are you
yeah,
saying spirituality in what aspect, but
in
specifically?
in respect to looking out for signs about people. For example,
Right.
this was a couple, right? She
Mm-hmm.
probably slept, husband and wife. She probably might have seen, like again, I talked about signs. She might probably had
Mm-hmm.
seen some things, and she probably just didn't think it was a big deal. And
Mm-hmm.
I use God as an example because I say God may have revealed those things to her. But like I always
Mm-hmm.
say, God is not going to force you now. He has just shown
Mm-hmm.
you this is what you have with you right now. That decision falls on you.
So
And
you're
maybe
saying
this
that people should pray that God should reveal the
yeah,
future of their partners to them.
yes, I think so, Auntie B. As much as we have science and treatments, we should also seek a spiritual side to our partners. That God should show
Right.
us the deep secret things. It's God that
Yeah.
sees the intent of a man's heart. Then
Yeah.
then you take that decision. God is not going to force you and say, oh, you know, as much as yes, we are woke, we believe in science, let's also sometimes, whatever religion we believe in, seek spiritual assistance because it
All
will
right.
help navigate our decisions. Thank you so much, Auntie B.
All
God
right,
bless you.
sweetheart.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
one.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah. I see the point she's trying to make. She's not saying that spirituality overrides religion or trying to say that as a spiritual person that you're not going to suffer. She's saying that people need to pray about their future partners and seek God spiritually to reveal to them, what awaits in the future. And that makes sense. So, yeah, I see where she's coming from. Right, let's move on very quickly because of time. Yolanda, you are next. Welcome.
Well, hi, thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Hello, Yolanda. Where are you joining us from?
Nassau, Bahamas.
You are from the Bahamas.
Yes.
Wow, fantastic. Welcome. So nice to have you.
Yes, yes. I just want to talk about um, how sometimes we as professionals, we hide things. I'm also a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and prior to being a nurse, I was a social worker.
Right.
So I kind of, I have, I wouldn't say that I'm an expert, but I've seen some things. If you work in both healthcare and, of course, social work.
Mm-hmm.
And my dear, there are professionals who are doctors, lawyers, nurses. There are many people that have mental health, and not only those that have mental health, but are married to persons who
Mm-hmm.
have mental health.
Mm-hmm.
But of
Mm-hmm.
course, society, we have to pretend.
Mm-hmm.
We pretend because we want to be accepted. It's a stigma. I don't know if you remember a bag designer a couple years ago. Her name is Kate Spade. She was worth 200 million at the time. And her husband finally came out. She committed, suicide. He finally came out and admitted that they were struggling for over 10 years. And everybody asked them, but you were the perfect couple. You were the couple that everybody wanted to be.
Hmm.
So people can hide things so perfectly because of the stigma of society.
Hmm.
So yes, I do believe my fellow nurse sister that has been later, who has passed, I believe she knew. We know the medications, we know the signs. Nurses
So,
know the signs,
so
social
you're
workers know the signs.
are you saying that you're suspecting that she knew and hid it from everybody, from her family?
She she has to know. If she was a nurse, she has to know. My dear, even in nursing school,
Mm.
they spend 2 semesters on mental health assessments.
Yeah, what if he hid it though? What if he hid it?
You can't hide mental health. That's something that you cannot hide.
Right.
It's going to come out, even in children.
Hmm.
Even in little children. That is why even sometimes if you're a social worker, the teacher would come to refer a case to the nurses and the social workers and say something is wrong with the child. You cannot hide. That is
Hmm.
something that cannot be done.
You are making a very good point,
Even
Yolanda.
even pastors suffer from depression.
Hmm.
You remember you were talking about the lady in the past. She was a famous singer. People
Yeah.
did not know that her husband was abusing her and leaving her on the side of the road at night.
Yes.
But she would
Tina
come and she
Turner.
would minister and she would sing and she would sing and she would put the house of God on fire.
Hmm.
But she could not share that part with her life. People hide things. Don't
Yeah.
believe under no circumstances, especially
Yeah.
a nurse. I'm talking a fellow nurse and also a fellow social worker. It's gonna be revealed. You may not
Hmm.
want to admit it to say, but my God, what is this I'm married to? Or my God,
Hmm.
is this my child? Is this my child that is acting wayward? Is this my child that is rebellious? You may not want to admit it, but the signs are there. The
Hmm.
signs are there. And then, like I said, in nursing, even in nursing school, 2 semesters, any nursing school, anywhere, they teach you have to know mental assessment, mental health. That is a part of the plan. Even in social work, 3 things you have to know: mental health, drug abuse, HIV. These are the basic principles you have to know in those professions. And if she's a nurse, she knew.
Hmm. Thank you so much. So before you go, Yolanda, I just quickly want to ask, what can we do as a community to prevent this stigma that make people to hide mental health? In your opinion?
Well, it's difficult because it starts with each individual, because like I said, as a society, it's a stigma in every society. I wish it was just the Black community. It's the Black community, the white community. Every community have a stigma on mental health. And that is the problem. People don't see it as, a neurologist was saying, people would down if you have cardiac problems, heart problems. They went down
Hmm.
if you have the kidneys. But unfortunately, society downs a person that have mental health, have a
Yes.
brain disorder. That's just the way it is. And it's through
Hmm.
education. It's
Hmm.
knowing that, it can happen. I've seen it happen to many professionals,
Yes.
COVID,
Hmm.
not just COVID, marital stress has caused women to have nervous breakdowns. A lot of things have caused it. And so, but people, they try to hide it, take medications, um, you know, the sister earlier was talking about, church and spirituality. And then, I'm so happy that some pastors are now, saying, listen, I only can help you to a certain point, but you have to seek professional help. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. So some pastors are now getting wise enough to tell people, listen, yes, it's good to have spirit, God and everything, but you have to seek professional help. My advice is to listen, seek professional help. Individually, if you're struggling, if you're going through a hard time, sometimes financially also, it puts us
Hmm.
in a depression. Sometimes our
Yeah.
education, a lot of education stress, not people, adults feeling like, oh, I didn't accomplish anything. That put us into mental depression also. So we now have to say to ourselves, listen, I need to get help. I need to seek professional help. I need to talk to somebody. So that's where it starts. And then, of course, the love of God. The Bible says we have to love each other and put us have empathy. Empathy is
Hmm.
another thing that we can do in the community to say,
Hmm.
listen, it can happen to me also.
Hmm.
No one is exempted. No
Hmm.
one is exempted. Some people can lose their whole family, by an accident. Some people can lose the house can burn down, and people can go in depression and have mental health. It's called conditional depression. It can happen to anyone. So we have to realize that no one is exempted. And so I just
Eh,
pray that we could continue to support each other. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Sister Yolanda. I really appreciate you. My love to everyone in the Caribbean. I hope to visit you someday. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I mean, Yolanda has just spoken very well. That's an angle that I was even thinking. I wasn't considering that it's possible that she knew. She's just said that as a nurse, there's no way because you cannot hide mental health. That's something to reflect on. She's saying that there's no way that Njoki didn't know, Mary didn't know that her husband was suffering. That she just perhaps maybe she didn't want to tell her family or people around. Mm. It's another angle. Kolongbawa. Carol John, you are next, but your internet connection is not very good. Can you look at it and change it, please, so I can add you? Let me go to Brother Patrick since your connection is not good.
Hey,
Brother Patrick, good evening, sir.
Auntie B, well done. God bless you. Actually, Yolanda has spoken my mind. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I just want to crave that indulgence that people that are coming from Africa, especially any part of the world to the United States, they should make use of the resources here, please. Especially concerning mental health, concerning therapy, concerning counseling, because we go through a lot. Some of us that came from Nigeria, we've gone through a lot of abuses that are still affecting us up till now. We carry it to our marriage. And we are going through stress that we cannot even share with people. You know, the kind of culture, the way we live, you know, hiding, not telling people, including me. We need to make use of those resources. You know, somebody that is older than me a few years ago is even retired now. He's a senior manager. And when he told me that, I said, oh my God. I actually went to him, to the pharmacy, to pick up his medicine. He said, oh my God. And the wife knew. I just opened my mouth. So a lot is going on in people's life. Don't say I'm just gonna be working. I'm going to pass it. Make most work now. They have all those benefits. And when you go to hospital, they slip in a form. Are you going through this? Are you are you thinking of this? You want to see whoever? You know what I mean? Social worker, they put it there. Why are we not making use of it?
We don't have time. We are too busy.
People are going through a lot. Let me round up. You know, one of my friends when she came here for a PhD, so the people they stayed with, they were having issue. So when they left that place, and my friend was telling the lady was telling my wife that her friend that they stay with, they pray together every Saturday for the husband. Auntie B. So one Saturday, the woman just called her. You know what happened? The person they were praying for, the man deleted himself. And the man too is a professor. So people go through a lot that you cannot even fathom. The weather is affecting you, every other thing, you know. Midlife crisis is there. You know, you think you have not even made it, your friends, your mates have gone, you know, your children are behaving somehow, you know, all kind of stuff is going on.
Yeah.
So you need you need therapy, you need counseling.
Yeah.
You need it. We all need it. All of us that in obodooyinbo, we need it. Please.
Yeah. I feel like after COVID, the whole world should be on therapy, to be honest. Honestly, because we've all been through it, we know, yeah, the whole world should be on therapy after COVID, honestly. Because people suffered. And I don't think we realize the extent of which COVID impacted us as human beings. Because we just carry on, you know, that is what we do. We just get on with it. But these things, you have to deal with them at some point or the other. Some people have ability to cope more than the other.
It's a different ball game, especially when you move down here. before
Yeah.
you struggle to make it and all those things. It's not easy.
And that stress bucket, some people's own is full and overflowing, and they have no way of reducing the stress in that bucket. So that's
Yeah.
another thing we need to look at. How are you reducing the stress in your stress buckets? What are you doing to diffuse that stress in your stress bucket? You guys, do you remember the stress bucket? Maybe I will show it again before we
I
leave tonight.
remember when you brought it. I remember.
Yes, it was a friend, a family friend who is a psychiatrist that told me about that. Not that me, I know anything about that, but he told me about it, and it's a simple way of understanding, basic mental health, how you can at least manage day to day the things that you can do to help yourself. The stress
Yeah.
bucket. Mm,
The stress bucket is a big deal. Oh, we need to take care of ourselves. Life has no duplicates. Life
yes,
is so short, Auntie B.
Benny.
Life is so short. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Patrick. Really appreciate you, sir. God bless you. God bless you so much. So, Carol John, I'll come to you. Then I'll come to you unapologetic me is next after Carol John. Okay. Unmute yourself, Carol. Where are you joining us from?
Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm calling from Connecticut, USA.
Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Auntie B. And also, I want to thank you for bringing the issue at the forefront by using your platform to educate us regarding this issue. So when it comes to mental health issue, from what I see, I'm an ER nurse, and I tell you, I get every night that I go to work, I get to deal with people who are coming in with suicide ideation. So, what is
Okay,
suicide
we don't
ideation?
use words like that. Oh my
Okay,
God.
I'm
Mm,
sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, we
I'm
cannot
sorry.
use what because of this platform that we are. Yeah, we use
Okay,
delete on live
SI,
and things like that. Yeah. Just
SI.
yeah.
I'll just shorten it to SI. So, what is SI? SI is someone who have the mental issues, and they are having either issues with the medication they are taking is not working, and they don't know how to go back to their psychiatrist and say, listen, this medication is not working for me, maybe we can do something else or try something else. And then you have some people who have done this already before and they are unsuccessful. So these kind of people in this situation, it doesn't matter what you do for them, they are still bent on doing it and making it a complete act. So when it comes to our people, this is what I understand when it comes to mental health with our people. It's just they feel like, I'm not saying everyone, I would say some people, some of us, they feel like when it comes to mental health, when you like, it's something that you're going to go shopping for, like buy expensive clothes, do all those things, and that is going to take it away from how that person is feeling. So that does not mean, so what it means is when you do shopping, you give them the best of the best. That is going to take care of the mental issues, how they are feeling, what they are feeling. But that is a lie. I will tell you an example. I had a patient. So this patient is from outside America. I had a niece. She brought the niece to America. So when she brought the niece, I'm going to shorten the story. When she brought the niece to America, she didn't understand that the niece is going through a lot of health issues. I could see it. When I say health issues, it's mental issues. She is an ER nurse herself, not in my state, in a different state. But as soon as I saw the girl, I sensed something is wrong. So she came in and we're talking. And I said to the girl, tell me, what is going on? The girl is saying to me, my auntie, yeah, she did a lot for me and I appreciate it. But my auntie is not thinking about my mental health. And I said to the auntie, listen, this shows, I can see through her that she's having issues. And then I even give my example. I said, I brought my niece from Nigeria to America. And I know what I went through with mental health with her because she started acting up, culture shock, and everything else. So what I did as a nurse was to go look for psychiatrists, school counseling, and everything. And that is how I was able to tackle my niece. So I put myself in her place. I said, listen, my niece, this is what I'm doing for my niece, and this is what you have to do. Yes, you give everything, but what she's missing is mental health. The lady was going from one story. She said, I buy her Gucci, I buy her Calvin Klein. I said, that is not what she's saying. She is saying her mental health. When the auntie left, do you know this? Denise said to me, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being there for me. Because in our community, this is what she said, in our community, they don't want to hear about mental health. I said, it's not their fault. It's the situation, how we were brought up, And then I went back, even after they left, I went back to call the aunt. I said, listen, please get her a psychiatrist to help her. She's dealing with a lot. Please. It took me half an hour to get her to make an appointment for her and the niece to at least try. So with our people is the issue of thinking that when we use shopping, when we do this, mental health is going to go away. Like the other sister said.
Mental illness. Yeah.
Yeah, mental illness is going to go away. Like our sister said, that
Yeah.
spiritual. So we can pray mental health away. We can't, unfortunately, and that is the problem that we are facing right now in the Western world. So what I'm saying is we have to talk about this in our home. The community is our home. It's not just community. We have to talk about it in our homes, with our kids, with everyone. Check up on your kids. Tell them, how are you doing? What's going on? How health-wise, are you okay? Is something going on? Something bothering you? That alone, they will open up to us and let us know what is going on. Thank you so much, Annie.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate your contribution. You are right. It's lack of awareness. Yeah. From everything you said now, thank God that you are more aware than your colleague. It's lack of awareness. What people don't know. If you don't even know, you think, oh, once you buy a child, everything, she should be the child should be all right now. What is your problem? Maybe I brought you from Caribbean or Africa to the US. You should be grateful. But you've forgotten that there are things that that child or that person is missing now, the wider community. And that is why it is easier. Let me tell you something. It is easier to develop mental health in the abroad than in Nigeria. I'm ready to debate it with anybody who disagrees with me. It is easier to develop mental illness in the abroad for African immigrants than you living in Nigeria. If you see what people are going through in Nigeria and everywhere in Africa and they cope, and this is because they have, when we were talking about stress buckets earlier on, they have more areas to release their stress than us. Our life here is work, 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 work. We don't have so many things that people take for granted. So if you bring somebody from back home and you think they come here, their life is just going to be perfect, you are mistaken. And that's why some people will tell you, please, I can't stay here. It's not good for my mental health. I can't deal with it. The weather, the social isolation is only you and your household. Some people can't deal with it. Nigeria is open. Just come out. You just need to come out. You just see people gather before you know. Back in the day, you enter a bus. Before you know, you start chatting with people. You talk to people, strangers. Everybody is talking to you. You will release that stress. So this obodoyibo, the danger or the problem here is that people are more likely to develop mental health here. And Moye, you see them, will be walking up and down. People will be talking to themselves. They don't even know they are talking to themselves. Yeah. So we need to be careful. Those of us that live in this part of the world need to be very careful and mindful of our mental health. Mental illness is easier to develop here. Honestly, I've seen it. I've seen it. There are so many stress releases that help people to release. People will be complaining in Nigeria, for instance, that hey, lowo, clinical, things are hard, but you see them every Saturday. They are having events. They are socializing. This is how they are distressing themselves. They have people visit them. They have people to visit. They have neighbors. They have everybody is linked together. That helps people's mental health. But here, Nibo. So that's part of the issues. I'm going to come to you, Film Girl. Let me take Unapologetic Me. Hello, welcome, Unapologetic Me.
Hello.
Hi, welcome, sis. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Hi, Bray. Yeah. I wasn't sure because the queue was not showing, so that's why I was asking you.
No, it's all
I'm not
right.
going
You
to
are in
take.
the private chat. That's why. You are
Oh,
in the
oh, all
private.
right.
It's only when you're in the public one that you see.
Okay, okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm aware that, it's a short one, and also the internet, I think the Wi-Fi is going in and out. I don't know why, but then I'll just be fast. I'll be brief. So everyone has said great contributions, especially especially Yolanda, Brother Patrick, and every other person. But what I also want to buttress is just that um, mental illness just doesn't start in a day. And there are many layers of many factors that actually comes into play. For example, someone could be anxious. That's anxiety alone, and then having stress at work related stress, then maybe financial issues, or even having some issues in marriage. So all this now, as you can imagine, how many I've mentioned. So those are layers, and it's now it would.
Oh, what happened to your internet? My sis, you just jumped off. Uh-oh. Okay, please come back and I'll add you. It's like you jumped off and you were, you are really making a lot of sense in that. She was talking about unapologetic me was talking about the stress, the things that can cause stress in people's lives in the abroad that can, impact on people's mental health to cause illness, mental illness. These are things like, imagine if you are owing money on your rent or mortgage. If bailiffs start to chase you in this part of the world, if bailiffs don't chase you before, even if it's something as ordinary in the UK here, we pay something they call TV license, right? So the BBC expects you to pay for watching television. This is what you people in living in America might not know. So they expect you to pay because you're watching TV. If they write to you, maybe you just move into a house and they write to you, you are not paying it, you didn't set it up. You see the color of the thing that they're using to write. They will first be writing. After a while, it will change to red. They will now put the heading in red. Next thing, they will start threatening you with legal action, that they will send people to visit your home. Something as common or simple. That is the most basic example I can use. It's not a lot of money. Some people don't agree with it. Why should I be paying you when I'm not even watching television? Now go to things like bills. People who can't pay accommodation, council tax. We pay what they call council tax here. Whether your house is 10 million pounds, nobody cares. You have to pay. The bigger your house, the more you will pay. Right? That one, council does not play with it. If you don't pay, they will hey. So these are all the things that unapologetic me was talking about, the things that can trigger people. So people that live in this part of the world, we're supposed to they hug each other, they love on each other, because what we go through is too much. Mm. We go through a lot. You are paying all these bills. You are working around the clock. You are looking for side hustle. You are sending money to Nigeria repeatedly. You are sending money. People are calling you every day. All this is pressure on your brain. It's pressure. How do you, if you don't have a way of releasing the stress? Cynthia is saying that the daughter's grandmother started developing mental health issues after her partner passed here in the UK of cancer, that she ended up moving back to home and she's flourishing today. Yeah. Yeah. You always have something. It's all about managing what life brings your way. I know there are some, traumatic issues that can happen that can set people on that path of mental illness, but it's just basically for us managing daily. Some people's brain cannot take the pressure. It's too much. Some is hereditary. We're not going to, a history of mental health and all that, but there is too much pressure. It's too much pressure. Eh? Isolation, yeah. SLH said true, Auntie B. The shock of isolation and having to adapt without even knowing your immediate neighbors. As Africans, we're a sociable community, very open community. Hmm? You always have a shoulder to lean on. Yes, it's different. So these are all the issues. That's why you need to be very, very careful and be mindful of our mental health and making sure that we are releasing stress from that bucket. Apart from encouraging people to speak openly about their illnesses, mental illnesses, and the struggle that they are facing, so they can get help. Film girl, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
all
for
right,
what you
thank
do
you.
for us. Thank you for this.
Mhm.
What?
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. All right. A lot of people have spoken today and they have spoken very well. As Yolanda said, people hide, their condition. And the misconception we have is that it's only Africans that hide. Like Yolanda said, white people also hide it, right? But the thing about them is that the general masses, well, you can talk about it, but when it comes to things like being considered for position, maybe being the president or a governor or or a very important position like maybe a CEO or something, they will check your background and they can use those things against you. So the rich families, they do hide all those things a lot because they don't want it to be used against them. Even the military, it might stop you from joining the military. You understand? And other cultures as well, like maybe the Japanese people and all that, they also hide like us. So it's actually the hiding thing is just across board. But that being said, without all that being said, I'm going to come down to our own people, right? The thing is that our people pride ourselves that we're very resilient. They feel that they always have this thing, they always brag, we're Africans, we are strong, we're not like all this, people that they have, like, do you understand? But the question is, are we that resilient? Do you understand? So with everything that has been said today about what you said, people go through a lot when they move abroad. They go through a lot and they think they can take it. They think that I'm trusting it. I'm a Niger person now, waiting day. I think. But there are a lot of issues, like you said, there are a lot of issues, there's the culture shock alone. And let me call it what it is. The attack we get from other races because we live in their culture is a lot. People talk about these things, but they don't, they kind of chest it. When you come and walk among these people, some of them that work at some of these other cultures are here, they will mock you, they will mock your accent, they will mock everything about you. And I begin to learn about what they call microaggression. Our people face a lot of microaggression in this in this foreign country, and we don't know that microaggression is a thing that builds up. Do you understand? Like the other day, I think not the other day, but my job, right? I was now they're trying to promote me. And I started using the computer, and someone was like to me, you know how to use the computer? I'm like, are you for real? Or they'll tell you things like, oh, you do math very well. Oh, you write very well. You speak English very well. I'm like, are you people okay? Because they look at you because you're going from Africa, they're from a jungle or something. So that's what they call microaggression. It's a big thing because it's a big thing that they teach to people over here, like in their communication classes in universities and all that. Because people that suffer microaggression over the period of time, one day they will snap and they now do something. You understand? So we suffer a lot of microaggressions from our colleagues, our people around us, and it's building up. But we don't know that this thing is a thing. Then we now add it to the isolation. We now add it to the coldness. The people the cultures in Obodo is very cold. People are not humane like that. You can have a few white or few people have empathy here and there, but generally they don't have empathy here. They are very cold and very, very, I don't know, with their, what I'm trying to say, with their dealings with people. They don't have any human, like the way you feel for people and try to pity. There's no pity, and then people are not coping. Then should we now come to immigration issues? What we go through, people don't understand what we go through. Because I was talking to a friend of mine, right? She said that, do you know that sometimes she sits down in her house for like 3 hours and she just blank? She won't know that time has even passed. She's not even thinking of anything. That you just, it's normal. I feel like, you see people doing stuff, they're beginning to forget. It's affecting, amnesia is coming in. These are all telltale signs that something is wrong. But we will chest it. We'll say, I will be African, waiting day. There is something day. we are not as hard as we think we are. We are human. Do you understand? We are human beings, and we have to acknowledge that we are human beings. And because we are human beings, you have to acknowledge that we actually can be vulnerable. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So bringing it to another point, sorry about that, right? Another thing I want to talk about was that a lot of people do know they have mental health issues and maybe they go for help and all that thing. But one thing again is that I've come to find out is that most of the drugs they give them for this, to treat all this illness and all that, it affects their career activities sometimes. You understand? Especially the men. That's why most of them will rather stay away from it. So although they know the help is there, when they give them the drugs and they take it and they take it, because it's affecting their career or something, and they want to, they have to bravado now, they have to be a man and perform, that kind of thing. Instead of opening up and say, oh, this is what I'm going through with their partner or whatever it is, you understand? They would rather get off those medications so that they can, show up as on the other side. I don't know if you understand the thing. And I'll finally say that our people, let us ask ourselves, what do we treasure? Because we treasure gold, we treasure clothes, we treasure laces, we treasure land in Nigeria, we treasure things. But the things that really matter, we don't treasure. We don't treasure ourselves. And that's the reason why you see women allowing people to maltreat them in marriages.
What about Film girl, what about the pressure from home? Because at the moment now, I thought I was gonna have a breakdown yesterday. I called a friend of mine yesterday morning. No joke, no. I thought I was gonna have a breakdown yesterday. I called I called a friend of mine and I'm like, I need to vent. And she was like, what happened? I said, this is it. I am tired. The request is driving me mad. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm not Father Christmas. People should stop. Please, it's too much. I called my husband and I was telling him and he was like, oh, he said, oh, he too. The request is getting, because it's December now. What about this so much pressure where people back home in Africa expect you to be the all-sufficient for them? You are the one that they will call. Whenever they have problem, it's you that is the first point of call that they are calling. And they think you have so much, not knowing that you too, you have your own issue that you are dealing with here. You have your own bills you are paying. You have your own family you are dealing with. You have so many things that you are dealing with.
I totally get.
What about that pressure?
The grass is not greener on any side. And the thing about it I've come to understand is that no matter how much we try, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
No matter how much we try, right? They can never understand what we're going through. Even all those years I used to come on vacation abroad and all that, I had an idea, but I didn't live it. It's a different thing to walk in that shoe. They can never understand it, So what do? You prioritize yourself. You just realize that you cannot please everybody, because the truth about it is that I've come to find out that the same people that you're giving everything for, if, for example, God forbid, you now maybe for example, you lose everything abroad and you go back to Nigeria, there's the same people that will ask you, what are you doing with your money? Do you understand? The people that you are beating up yourself for, right? The day you stop sending it to them, you become the bad person. So what does that tell you? You can never please man. It's not possible. So I know the pressure is much, but hey, we just have to learn to tell them, CEO, I'm sorry right now, give me so time, whatever it is, just back up. Because if you don't, they're going to run you into the ground. Me, I'm not the best person to advise on this, because me, I don't allow people to put me under unnecessary pressure. I just had the same conversation with somebody like 2 days ago. I told the person, I might come up at whatever, but I'm not saying, I told the person, say, listen, when I was in Nigeria, even when I didn't have a job, right? I said, is there anybody, as in, maybe one day I'll put it on the internet and say, anybody at all, even to my brother that was living here before, if I ever asked you for $1, if I ever asked anybody abroad for $1, do you understand? I never did that. I never went, putting people under pressure. So I don't feel any justification but put me under unnecessary pressure. Do you understand? Like I said, I'm different, when it comes to that one. I help out to the best of my abilities, but I don't stress myself because the people, I've seen people that have stressed themselves for family, and at the end of the day, the same people that you stress out, they don't turn out to be very ungrateful.
That's one of the stresses that we are going through. It's too much. It's just too much. People just need to take it easy on other people.
Because the thing starts from us here. If we start sending this message generally, like, man, it's not easy, but over here, I know we say it, but some other people are still bending over too much, like stressing themselves, working 3 jobs. You understand? If we kind of like, make it like, man, it's not easy, but you just back off. Maybe they'll get the message. But when you are saying so, someone else is busy, sleeping, sharing a flat with 10 people and working 3 jobs to impress some people back home. So life can never be fair on this issue. You can never get it. You don't spend on your family or some people that you know. So you just deal with your own personal. My advice is that you just deal with your own personal, your own personal people. You understand? And tell them, like, they might call you bad, they might call you horrible, they might say what they'll say, but at the end of the day, you are trying to help yourself. That's all. That's like I say.
Thank you so much, Film Girl. Appreciate you for sharing with us. Let me move on very quickly. I've got Natu, then I'll come to Jola. Thank you so much, Film Girl, our darling sister from the US. God bless you. Natu, you are welcome.
Auntie B, good afternoon. My name is Nacho. I'm calling from New York. First time caller.
Welcome. Thank you so much. How are
So
you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
Not too bad, except that I almost lost my mind yesterday.
Please don't. Auntie B, let me tell you, before you go
It was
further,
too
let me
much
tell
for me,
you,
Natu. Honestly, it was too much.
that has been my story. I've been to
Do you
America.
know
I came to America
the anxiety
2009.
that these people are putting me
Yes.
is too much?
Yes.
No, I said to my husband, I said, maybe because they are seeing me on YouTube, they think I'm working for BBC or
Yes.
CNN.
Yes. They think YouTube is giving you money.
What kind of a thing is this?
Auntie B,
Even my immediate family does not disturb. My children don't even disturb me. I was even saying let me make you laugh, Natu.
that is the same point
My
I'm going
son
through. I tell
yesterday was
people
saying,
all the
like,
time.
I don't want to trouble you. I don't want to stress you. I've got to pay 30 pounds to go studio. I was like, 30 pounds? If my own children can understand, they are not troubling me. Why can other people be troubling my life like this, Tori, alone?
My mother would never call me and say, oh, you didn't send money for food yet. No, but people outside will be the one reminding you, promise me. Auntie B, I came to America 2009. I did not build house for my parents until last year. I had to do a job to build the house. I had to do a job because of pressures coming from people. Sometimes before my salary comes, I borrow to help somebody out. And when the money, I don't have savings. This year I turned 40.
Why are people so entitled?
This year I turned 40
I
and I
just
had to
needed to
talk.
say this because it's really
It's
disturbing
no,
my mind now.
but you know one thing, you have to learn to say no. That is the only thing that's giving me peace. I'll tell you, I don't have and go to sleep. I have learned to say that. My husband just moved here 3 years ago. He said he's going to change his number. I said no.
I
Why?
think
He
that's
said
what I'm
people are
going to do
disturbing
too.
him.
That's what I told my friend. I
No,
think it's time.
no, you don't have to change number. Just tell them I don't have too many things. No, we pay bills monthly in the abroad. It's not yearly. We don't pay rent yearly. We pay bills monthly. So you have to pay your bills monthly. The day you're supposed to pay your phone bill or light, if you don't pay, they'll cut it off. But people don't know
are
that.
badgering you every day. This one is asking for this. This one, Christmas is coming now. You don't allow me to rest. Are you Jesus? Is it your birthday?
Yeah. So, like, based on the Kenyan woman story that we were talking about, for
Yes,
me,
my
right,
dear.
and to be,
Sorry about that. Yeah.
that's fine. It's okay. Sometimes you just need to talk. I want to believe that from my own point of view, we are married. Me and you were married. We know. And then women God has given us this natural gift. If something is going on, we always know. But you see what has robbed Africans is religion and culture. That thing has robbed us off. That something is happening, you don't want to say something about it because you don't want your husband to feel embarrassed, or you don't want somebody to know what's going on in your house. Not that you're not saying anything about it, but are you helping the other person? What are you doing to help the other person? You probably are not doing anything, you're just looking at him. You understand what I'm saying? But as married couples, we know that there's a lot of shit going on in our marriages that sometimes we don't want to talk because we don't want the other people to know, to laugh at us. Why? Because they're seeing us as couples goals. So you want to like maintain that facade and then not want anybody to know. But deep down inside, you're dying. And I said this year is the year of me being selfish. I just want to attend to myself. And let me tell you, I took myself. I made an appointment with psychiatry. That was my 40th birthday gift. I saw a psych. They put me on medication. Am I better? 100% better. Productivity at work, 100% better. Because at some point, my boss will come in and say, Susie, this is not you. What is going on?
Your audio is fading in and out. Are you moving?
Still like, this is not you. I have to talk to myself and like, if I go down now, my husband will marry another woman. No. and my man was get picking again. I went to see a psych. My husband didn't want to see a psych. And I'm not ashamed about it. I talk about it with people. I'm like, you have to come to terms to accept that. And you also have to know that some people will laugh at you, some people will accept it. But you know what? You have to just talk about it. And you talking about it will make, because I spoke about mine, one of my friends went to see a psych too. Just because I
Wow.
opened up about my own. Yes. So that's like
Absolutely.
very, very
Wow, that's
important. Like we have to
fantastic.
embrace it, we have to talk about it. And also, like, you have to have a tribe. You have to have some few people that you can always talk to if something is bothering you. Like that helps a lot. Like, just like you're saying, these are brother people in Nigeria, they don't even know what is depression until they come here. You know what I'm saying? So it's really crazy. But people don't understand that part. So it's really, really, really important to have that tribe, people that you know you can talk to, people that you can run to. Because you see
Yeah.
this thing by yourself thing, all now wash and to be. I'm telling you, that's how people die in their rooms without knowing. No, I don't do that. I've learned to scream. I've learned to open up. And sometimes too, like, African men, they don't want to die with their shit. They don't want anybody to know what's going on with them. They don't even want to
Delete.
go for
Yeah,
counseling.
that's the word we use. Delete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I believe the help starts from the woman. You have to want to get help for yourself. And if you know there are people that your husband listen to, you have to like talk to them to talk to him. But there's no how you be sleeping with somebody, except the only way I can give her a pass is except if she works like she's a workaholic, and the time that she's coming back home is when he's going to work, and the time he's coming back home, that's when she's going to work. So they hardly get to see themselves. Then you get a pass because they see themselves maybe once or twice a week. So with that, you can't really know. But if not, I just feel like we women, like, we have to do better. And I know some women are gonna come for me and be like, "Oh, why don't we? Who's gonna come for the women?" But honestly speaking, listen, you don't have to let yourself delete. Honestly speaking, just for the sake of because you want to cover somebody else. Get all
Yes,
the help you can get.
absolutely.
Like, because I begin to get anxiety because of fertility issue, and it took a toll on me. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I'm so
whoa, it's
sorry.
not. Yeah, I'm like, not everybody that is meant to have a child. My husband is like, am I disturbing you? Why is so like you? I had to go get help. I just had
Yeah,
to go
and
get
if you're even anxious, it's not even going to happen. That doesn't help.
exactly, exactly. So honestly speaking, like, we really, especially as African, we have to break that cycle. We have to break that cycle of that using religion and culture to like, oh, you are the wife, you have to cover your husband's secret, you have to be.
Mm,
Uh-uh.
mm.
If your
God should cover
husband needs
all of
help, he needs
us.
help.
God will cover all of us.
Exactly. If your husband needs help, he
Mm,
needs help. If you need help, you need help.
yeah. Thank you so much, my darling. Please look after
Yes.
yourself, all right? Don't worry.
Try. Thank
You
you,
know,
Auntie
you
B.
know what? What I find is that sometimes when you worry about these things, especially when it comes to fertility, it won't happen. But the minute you take your mind and you say, God, let that will be done, you don't even think about it. Give it 3 months, you find yourself pregnant. So, according to the desire of your heart, the Lord will do it for you, my darling. Thank you so much for calling, Natsu. I appreciate you. Thanks for being open about your struggles with your mental health and, sharing with people in your circle as well for them to get themselves checked out and to receive help. That is what we need. We need people like Natsu who can say, you know what, I got myself checked out by a psych because I was losing it. I need help. And they gave me something that's helped me. That is how we deal with the stigma. You are still a human being. You are surviving, you are working, you are carrying on with life. You just need help. There's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing wrong in it. We need to break the stigma because the stigma is what is making people to hide things. And that's why we're having these stories today now. Why people are just, unlifing people up and down. Imagine. Wow. It is well though. Jola, welcome. How are you?
Good evening, Auntie B. How are you? I hope
I'm
you're feeling
good,
better.
thank you. How is Lagos? I miss Nigeria like
It's
Kilode.
fine. It's fine. You know, a lot is going on. Elections are coming, so everybody is.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
But about mental health, Auntie B, you know what I think happens to a lot of people? A lot of people are high functioning with mental health issues.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of Africans have a view of mental health that the person is constantly acting erratic, constantly. I mean, even when you look at Nollywood and the way we view people that have mental health issues, it's until you're on the road looking a certain way
Uh-huh.
that they feel the person has mental health issues. So sometimes when people try to talk about, I'm just feeling somehow, we don't even have the language to
Uh-huh.
explain. Sometimes the person just say, oh, I'm just feeling somehow. I don't even get myself. That kind of thing. They don't know how to explain exactly how they feel. So we don't understand what mental health problems are. And a lot of people are so high functioning
Uh,
that for a long time until you get to a snapping point,
Yeah, and before they become high functioning, it doesn't just happen. Is this still the same thing that you ignore it to a point where you become high functioning? It
Okay.
must have been happening, but you are ignoring it and not
Yeah, no,
dealing with it.
by high functioning, I mean, and to be like the person according to like markers of society. So they are still showing up at work. They're still able to
Mm,
pay their bills. They're still
mm,
so they don't look like what people think until you have a complete breakdown. A lot of people don't realize that a person might be struggling. And so they
yeah.
snap. And then it
Mm,
happens really, really badly, like in a very, very negative way. Also, it's because
mm,
we also view almost like we don't understand mental illness as what it is in like a sickness. Nobody will shame you for having a physical problem with your body. But when your mind, you're having an ailment in your mind, somehow we don't associate it with with the body as well. We treat it as something, different. Like often we go the spiritual route. We don't treat it like the same way. If you had an arm ache and you just needed a sling, there would be that, I just need to go to the doctor and sort this thing out. People don't see it in that same way, I think. And that's a big, big, big deterrent. And finally, it's just the fact that people are afraid. So, I mean, I know people who have just been afraid to go on medication because of their fear of reliance. People are afraid that doctors want to medicate them very quickly, and they're afraid that because they want to get healed,
mm-hmm,
they are worried that a lifetime of medication is not them getting better. So
mm-hmm,
what happens if I can't access my drugs,
mm-hmm.
and things like that? That's a very, very big issue. The worst
Yeah,
one is just shame, Auntie B. It's so hard to say this is what is wrong with me. Um,
yeah.
I mean, my generation is slightly better, but I think it's still very, very tough to say I have a mental health issue. I mean, it's getting better. People are able to joke about it now, to talk about it now, but it's just still very difficult because
It
our
is.
society is still pretentious. Is it
Yeah.
will I be able to tell my mom that, oh, the guy I'm seeing has mental health problems?
Mm-hmm.
Your family will start reacting somehow. Your friends might be worried, things like that. So I think our attitude is the biggest problem. And the funny thing is, until our attitudes change, we won't dedicate as much time or research to mental health issues. I think one of the problems is
Absolutely.
that because society doesn't care as much, we're not investing enough to finding proper cures because we're not just as invested. Everybody's still tiptoeing and dancing around the issue. There is a
Mm.
chemical imbalance. Surely there are things we can do, but until we treat it as
It's also
important,
hereditary. Yeah, there are different school of thought around what
exactly,
causes it. Yeah, people
exactly.
can also
So,
inherit it if they've got the traits in their family line as well. So, but yeah,
and
early
just to make you
diagnosis.
just to
Mm.
make you laugh a little bit, Auntie B, let me tell you something. If anybody wants to stress you, you will tell them, I did not kill my mother, you cannot kill me.
Ló bá tán.
You will tell them, no, it's true because
Oh.
you work so hard for your money. Who do
It's
people
not
think
easy.
they are to
Oh.
be calling
The
to
sense
be
of
calling
entitlement from that side of the world is too much. You, I don't know.
no,
It's too much.
you will not allow them. You will not allow
Yeah,
them.
it's too
That's just
much.
the
It's
truth.
too much. It's too much.
You can't
People will
allow
not
them.
reach out to you. They
Know
will
the
not
way
talk to you. The only time they want to talk to you is to say, I'm in hospital. I just got discharged. They're always expecting, always expecting. And
maybe it's
it's
selfishness on
well.
my part, but I've always felt that people deserve not just to earn, but to enjoy the fruits of their labor. So there's this thing where sometimes, unfortunately, we treat people in the diaspora as cash cows who are working for us, like they're not working to enjoy, like they don't deserve to enjoy the fruits of their labor. So, for instance, there's a thing
Mm,
I've noticed where people in the diaspora feel somehow about transcending certain social classes because the people at home are unable to. So, you send all your spare money home, but you're unable to move to a better borough. That means that your children can go to a different type of school. That means that they can have different
it's
experiences
black
because
tax. That's what they call it.
you
Black
feel
tax
yeah,
is what is keeping us.
you feel
Mm.
guilty about that. You're unable to
Yes,
build
it's a tax
generational
that
wealth.
people pay for life, unfortunately, my dear.
Yeah, and I just think that
It's no joke.
people in the
It's no joke.
diaspora need to know that they actually have the right to not just like survive but thrive where they are. If you have the like, it's
Mm.
very important that they understand. It's difficult, but I think it's really important that people in the diaspora understand that they have a right to. It's not about survival. It's about thriving. It's about doing
Mm.
well. You have a right
Mm.
to live a certain lifestyle with your family. Let your children see you. Develop a relationship with your community. Have community links and ties. Understand that you are part of that community. Not that you're working
Mm.
for people home and you're lonely, you're tired, you're ill, you are, you have a broken relationship with. I don't know. I feel really bad sometimes when I hear some of these like stories where people are
Yeah.
suffering abroad and their family is enjoying back home, and it's almost
Mm.
like they feel bad that they want to enjoy. No, people have a right to joy. It's not just surviving. When you move abroad, other communities have a right to joy. The Black community does the same. Asians move abroad and start to progress. You have the right
Mm.
to do the
Thank
same.
you.
You're not doing anything bad by
Yeah.
owning multiple homes or making your allowing. Is it bad for your Black children to be in private school abroad? Is it only Nigerian children in Nigeria that should go to private school?
Mm.
Is it bad?
My
Is it a
dear.
crime?
Mm. It is
Please,
well.
we don't want to hear that anybody is stressing you. If they want to stress you, you stress
Thank
them back.
you. Thank you so much, Jola.
Have a wonderful
I appreciate you,
evening.
my darling. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Yeah. So before we leave, that was Jola from Lagos, Nigeria. Before I end this I end this live stream, I want to quickly share this with you guys again. I've shared it a couple of times here, and he's a family friend of ours who is a psychiatrist. I see a lot of people saying how when they go to Nigeria, the anxiety disappears. I thought I was the only one. Yeah. For some people, Nigeria does it for you. No matter how chaotic you think Nigeria is, for some people, just spending time with loved ones, hanging out in that space where everybody's it's like you. It does something to you. I thought I was the only one. I can see a lot of people in the comment section saying how they feel, when they go back to Africa. It's a place of peace for a lot of people. So let's talk about this very briefly in case you didn't catch it in my previous shows. This is what a psychiatrist in the UK told me, that every human being has this bucket. They call it stress bucket. It's not a physical bucket, it's a bucket that is in your brain, right? This bucket is in your okpolo, and things go into the buckets. So you can see tabs. It's like tabs. The thing that go into you see this one on my left, says stress bucket, and you see those things dropping in, the tabs. So what are the tabs that are coming in? These are the things that come into your life that's putting stress on your brain, right? So things like interpersonal stress, like poor diet, you have financial worries. They can add a lot of stress, like some people said. If you are owing money, you cannot pay your bills, and so many things that happen in diaspora that they chase you for debt here, right? If you are a student, you are facing academic stress, it can add to your stress bucket. You got assignments, you are not meeting up with the deadline. Yeah. You're not getting the result that you hoped for. You come all the way from Africa to go to the abroad. And after 10 years, you check your life and say, where am I still here? Am I the only one? How come other people are making it? People back home will be asking you, are you the only one? This person that came 5 years ago, they built house. Someone that came last year, they've done this, they've done this. Why are you still where you are? You are stuck in that minimum wage job. These are all the things that causes stress in our brains. You can't find a way out. You are not getting the desired result. Maybe you already planned, when you are coming from Nigeria, you planned your life, how you are going to achieve. And then you come here, you see it's a different ball game altogether. Yeah. The stress in work. I have one of the most stressful jobs in this world is social work. There are so many stressful jobs. Nursing is also very, very stressful where you work. If you work in health and social care, in fact, there's no job in the abroad that is not stressful. Let me just say it. There is no job that is not stressful. Stressful job can add so much pressure and add to your stress bucket every day. I tell them I'm quitting, I'm always quitting. There's no day that I don't quit. So if you have stressful relationship with your bosses, your lecturers, or the people that you work with, or your neighbors, whatever, environmental stress, issue with housemates, if you're sharing houses with people anywhere in the world, you're fighting, they are not getting along, things like that. Family problems, you're not getting along with members of your family, you're struggling to focus on studies, things like this can add. So you're not coping. So it's like a bucket, just like a physical bucket. All these things will be adding to the stress in that bucket, right? On the right hand side, you also have stressors like worries at work, poor diet, financial pressures, lack of sleep. If you don't sleep well, is a pressure on your brain. You have family issues, family relationships, and all that. Yeah. Head problems, if you have any health challenges, whether physical or mental health, like we're talking about, they all add to the stress in your brain. Okay. If you're underpaid and you're not coping with the work, or you feel like the work you are not where you should be, you are measuring yourself. Those of you that know how to measure yourself to friends and say, oh, beg, you are not measuring up. So these are the levels. So there's a level here, you know that is a buffer level. You can see it's a buffer zone. So how you release the water in that stress bucket is the coping skills that you have. How do you cope? The things that help you to release some of these is things like, having a good time. Whatever is the good time, whatever good time means for you. I don't know what you do to have a good time. Some people is to socialize, some people is to travel, some people is to spend money, some people is to eat. Whatever gives you a good time, it can release the stress in your bucket. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed and anxious, you are not coping, this can help you to relax. Talking to friends and family, spending time. Some people is prayers. When they pray, they feel a sense of relief. Mindfulness. Some people know how to practice mindfulness, yoga, and things like that. Taking times to do the things that you enjoy. I told you guys once upon a time that gossip is good for the soul. I kid you not. It's proven scientifically that gossip is good. When you gossip, it sounds funny, but it's true. Things like that. Talking to friends, you gossip with your friends, it can help you to release some of the stress in your life. The problem is that if you don't have a way of releasing this stress by this tap that is down here, and the one on top continue to fill up, once it fills up and overflow, you've entered that domain, you've entered the domain of losing it, you've entered it, you are walking in very, very dangerous territory now. That's when people lose it. That's when they start, the bizarre behavior, like this man now that just deleted his entire family. He wasn't coping. There was stresses in his life that he wasn't coping with. So please, whatever you do, be mindful of your stress bucket. Everybody has it, is in your brain. How are you managing it? Some people feel overwhelmed. And like Film Girl said, as Africans, especially Nigerian, we always think that we are so strong. We are so strong. We are so resilient. Nothing can affect us. Everybody has a level that they cannot deal with. Some people quit the job that they are doing because it's paying very well. They're making a very good income, but they quit because they are not sleeping at night. The stress is too much. They can't manage it. So they will quit to maintain their mental health. My people, mental illness is real. It is very, very real. Our neighbors in this part of the world will talk about their own openly. We black people will hide our own until they will go and delete people like this man just did. And that's why I wanted to quickly show you this stress bucket again tonight. Go and Google it yourself, research it, and please, we need coping strategy. Everybody needs coping strategy. How are you coping with the pressure of living in the abroad? The pressure is too much. There's nothing easy in this part of the world. There's nowhere life is easy, but life in the abroad, people don't understand. People say Nigeria is hard, Nigeria is hard. I know Nigeria is not easy. I know Africa is not easy, but it's a different kind of pressure that we face in this part of the world that you don't even know how to tell somebody that you are going through the things that we go through. You don't even know how to tell somebody. The expectation is so high. Everybody is expecting. You are putting yourself under a lot. There's loneliness, yes, in the abroad. People are trying to live double lives. You are living one here. You are living one in Africa. You want to build a house there. You are trying to build a house here. You are trying to do this. You are trying managing children. You are managing childcare. You are managing school. You are managing work. You are managing relationship. Maybe your relationship is even the one that is putting pressure on you. There's so many. Life. May God help us. So please Google that stress bucket. Just put stress bucket on Google and look into it, and let's find ways to manage our mental health. Most importantly, we need to talk more about mental illness. I'm looking for somebody who would be bold to say, I have mental illness. This is how I cope. This is what has helped me. If you want to share, please get in touch with me. I will bring you here. You don't need to put your camera on. We can, we can just hear you speak. Please, we need our community. We desperately need people who can openly speak about their mental illness, the struggles they've had, and what has helped them. The way we can deal with the stigma associated with mental illness is by openly talking about it. Then people will begin to see, but I'm not the only one. Oh, so this person went through this. I can identify. Then we'll form, what Oyibo will call support group around one another. If you can talk about it, I can talk about it. If you can talk about it, this person can talk about it. A can talk about it, B can talk about it, C, D, D. Before you know, that's how we get rid of stigma. Then if somebody wants to come and start yabbing somebody, this person is having mental illness, they say, that one, not today. We all have some form of struggles in our mental health. Depression, I said it, and I believe strongly that since COVID, the rate at which depression is affecting people is too much. It's too much. Yeah. We need to find ways to release this stress. That's why some people just go to Nigeria and they just want to put their head down. They just eat and sleep. That is how they cope. When they come back, they recharge, and then they come back to the abroad again to come and face the wahala. Life is not easy anywhere. I'm not trying to say that life in Nigeria is easy or anywhere in the world. Anywhere you live, you always have stresses. It's just different dimensions of stress. But what is important is for us to be aware of where we are mentally and be able to, deal with things as they come up. Please, we need to be aware. If you are suffering mentally, don't hide it. Ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run, I'm begging you, do not hide it, because if you hide it, you might just get to the point that this man got to. I'm sure he didn't mean to do what he did, but he did it because he couldn't control it. He was suffering. Maybe somebody knew, maybe nobody knew. We don't know. All we are saying here, even what that our sister from the Caribbean said, is just speculation. We don't know whether Njoki knows, whether she doesn't know. Nobody knows. Yeah. May the Lord help us. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. I appreciate you. I have a show set up for Saturday. Please check. I want to talk about cohabitation, living with people before marriage. And we are using the story of Nia Long and that Nigerian man that was dating. They were dating for, I don't know how long they said they were engaged for, 13 years, Abby. Yes. It's going to be a very interesting one. So please make sure you put your notification on. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. I appreciate you. Give us a thumbs up. Please share this video. Get the likes up and share it. We need people to be aware of these things. They are real. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate you. God bless you. Yeah? Kate said, I'm presently on medication to control my mental illness. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Wow. It is well with you. You are not alone. Yeah. If you would like to share, to encourage other people, do get in touch with me, and then we'll have a conversation about this openly. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Blessing said, Obodoyibo TV is therapeutic. Subscribe to relieve stress. I gain a lot here. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Is Friday. Yeah, it's my son's birthday tomorrow, so I can't do live tomorrow because we need to take him out. My youngest son is 16 tomorrow. PJ. His name is PJ. He's very, very shy. So you guys, a lot of you don't know him. The one you know is Toby. But he's 16 tomorrow, so we're gonna have a family outing with him tomorrow. So I won't be able to do live. I'm gonna spend some time with them. Then Saturday, we'll pick it up again. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Have a nice afternoon. Have a nice evening. God bless you. Bye. Augusta, God, you stay from beginning to end. Well done. Well done. Oh. Before coming now, make we yarn. I hear one broken one I never hear for a long time for your video today. Say people share Gary. I never hear that thing for a long time. Say two people share Gary. Augusta, the pigeon where they your mouth there. Not be here. Oh. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, thanks everybody for wishing PJ happy birthday. He's sweet 16. Hey, whoa, my baby is growing. He's grown. Oh, God is good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Augusta. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. God bless you guys. See you on Saturday. And tomorrow there will be a video. Gistmas Day 9 tomorrow. Look out for it. Please subscribe, like, and share. Bye, guys. Bye.